He's the senator representing the Kogi West Senatorial District.
Thank you.
You're very welcome to
Thank
the program.
You. Yeah.
We just thought we'd do a sort of a progress report on the 10th Senate.
Yeah.
So, to dive in with both feet, head first, as it were.
Yeah.
What would you say was the, primary, the principal achievement you think this 10th Senate has achieved so far?
Okay.
There's a whole of a long way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, people think of it as we're in almost like a halfway mark here. So there's plenty that can still be done. But as of now,
okay, thank you.
Do you think you've done very well?
We have done good. We have done.
You would score a pass mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might not say excellent, but I think we are doing well.
Yes.
Our objective from the start is to engage with the executive, not with a confrontational attitude, but how we can work with the executive to achieve the best for our nation. And we have found it interesting working with the president, being a former member of the National Assembly, a senator of the Federal Republic, the vice president, a senator. It was even part of the Ninth Assembly. Even the wife of the president, also a senator. So it was an interesting thing. So we started from beginning of, these are our people that are coming in. Let's work with them. Let's move together, work together to get the best for our nation. And we are doing that.
Okay. When you say our people, I mean, you've been in the Senate since when?
I've been in the National Assembly since 2011.
Okay.
I was part of the 7th and 8th Assembly.
In the House of Reps? Okay.
I had a little break in the 9th Assembly. Then I'm back to the Senate now.
There you are, back to the Senate, going to go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. But speaking on that, you just sort of referred to, some principal people in the country as our people. Yes, of course they are our people, including us.
Yeah.
We are all.
When I'm talking of our people, our constituents,
Okay.
the masses of this country,
Okay.
they are the people we are representing.
Yes.
We are representing the grassroots. We are representing the sovereign masses of this country. So when I refer to our people, these are our people. Yes, those ones are the top, the bourgeois. They are also our people, but we care more for the grassroots. So our aim from the beginning is how we can work with the executive to get the best for our people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get into a particularization, but generally speaking, there are those who say that this 10th Senate, National Assembly, isn't it a bit too comfortable with the executive? That is to say, I mean, the level of cooperation with the executive, let me use that word, the level of cooperation with the executive, I don't know whether to say it is exemplary or it is one kind. Why is it that they never fail to get whatever they want, they ask for?
I wouldn't say they've always gotten what they've asked for. Right from the beginning, the ministerial screening, the president brought a list of senators. We screened all of them, and we rejected some, despite the fact that they are nominees of Mr. President. So if it is a rubber stamp thing, we will have passed all.
Okay, your word, not mine. That rubber stamp thing, you've heard of it, and you think it is unjustified.
Let me tell you. Those that are talking on rubber stamp, they don't know what they're saying. We've had issues of not being on the same page. But we negotiate a middle-term approach. Let me tell you, most budgets that are sent to us, let's talk about the last budget.
Okay.
The last budget, some new people came into the budget. I mean, the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, and they gave the president an impression that, look, all these issues of constituency projects, that the president should do away with it. That is a wastage. That's the impression being created by some Nigerians. Let me tell you, the constituency project thing is the best way to reach to the grassroots. They don't give us this money, you know. They only give us an opportunity of allocating projects into the budget, of suggesting projects. Let me not say allocating, suggesting projects into the budget. So they give us certain window, certain amount. The president, this last budget, he wanted to stop it totally. He said no, he was not going to do that, based on the advice given to him. But the leadership of the National Assembly negotiated with him that, Mr. President, if you are going to stop this thing, then you are going to be at a total loggerhead with the National Assembly, because this is the only way that we're able to reach out to our people in terms of giving them dividends of democracy, in terms of carrying projects onto our people, in terms of infrastructural development for our people. For more than 2 weeks, the president didn't want to do that. But at the end of the day, he understood and allowed the constituency project to remain. It will have been stopped. And the constituency project has been there since 1990, let me not say 1999, 2000.
For a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And people have begun
to think that say that
maybe it was being abused, maybe that people didn't understand it. That's why it came to the level of do away with it. The advice he got of do away with it altogether.
People just, you know, Nigerians, they just have these negative things about National Assembly, about the legislature as a whole. They look, constituency project. Let me talk about my own senatorial district.
All right.
Ask my people. What?
That's Kogi West.
Kogi West. What constituency project has brought to them? I can name. My people call me Mr. Water.
Okay.
Because I make sure when I was in the House of Reps, every community have access to potable drinking water. That is, I don't want my people to suffer because of water. So I make sure I introduce one water system to those communities. It can be a motorized borehole, solar power. I had it across most of the communities in my federal constituency then. And I'm continuing that now. Communities that has poor power supply, we give them transformers, solar street lights. We introduce a lot of things like my own project now. I'm doing bursary awards for students in public tertiary institutions.
Okay, now this is your personal project.
And my colleagues, they are reaching out to their constituents in different ways. You cannot know the problem of the people more than us, because we are the one representing the grassroots. Some are doing roads. Like part of my project this year, I put money on federal roads.
How is that?
That is my people are suffering because some of these roads are projects, they have been awarded for years and they are not properly funded. So rather than seeing it as a continual burden on my people, I had to put some money there.
So this matter about, well, that's a federal road. The federal government, the federal authorities, for whatever reason, they've not come to it. You don't have time for those kind of stories. What can be done will be done, is what you seem to say.
Yes, part of my constituency project, part of the funds they gave to us, 2 billion, I put it on the worst part of those roads. And I put it under the Federal Ministry of Works. I went to them. You have to do it.
Okay.
And the minister is cooperating.
And work is being done.
In fact, they are going to mobilize there in the next 1, 2, 3 weeks.
Okay, now one can see indeed, what can benefit the ordinary folk from having a senator, or for that
even
matter,
in the House of Reps,
a representative.
they are doing the same thing. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. In fact, any parliamentarian, I imagine that even at the state level.
Yeah.
So this is fine, but I wonder if you consider it as a sort of the president's tax bill and the whole conversation that it generated.
Okay, good. Thank you for bringing this on.
Okay. So
the tax reform bill.
The tax reform bill.
If you look at the problem that was created when this tax reform bill was brought, you would think Nigeria will fall down. People, even governors of APC state, came out to condemn it. The president is trying to satisfy Lagos. They want to do this, they want to do that. My brother, I'm a member of the Finance Committee of the Senate. The tax reform bill is the best, one of the best things that has ever happened to this nation. Do you know what it's going to bring to us? We are going to have states competing with each other on funds generation, on revenue generation. Because the more revenue you are able to generate, the more
will accrue to you.
Will accrue to you. We are not just going to have a situation where some state will just sit down and be expecting manna from the center. This tax reform bill is going to bring drive that, look, people competing for revenue generation. And that is one of the best things that has ever happened to this nation. Nobody, no government, before now, has been able to tinker with the tax reform bill to encourage states in the federation units to compete and bring more revenue. The tax reform bill is almost been done with. I'm telling you, in the next 2 weeks, before we go on break in August, I believe we are going to get the tax bill passed into law.
Yet people...
We have worked hard on it. All governors in Nigeria, they are now on board. They now see reason why we have to pass it. They now see reason why it will benefit their states. They are no longer abusing Mr. President again. They now see the sense in what Mr. President has done in bringing that tax reform bill. And this work, we cooperated with the president, with the executive. We worked hard. We did a lot of work, reaching out to even the state. By the time we did a public hearing on it, where all interest groups came.
Indeed, that was very, I was surprised because the one thing it showed was that initially not everybody understood what it was all about.
People were just talking out of context, out of the things inside the bill. I'm not saying that everything inside the bill that we just accepted it. We made amendments in some areas. The House of Reps, I'm sure they are done with their report. Our report is in the Senate is almost completed. By the time we resume, where we still have gray areas between the House and the Senate, we will sit and harmonize. And we are going to submit the report. And I'm telling you, before we go, in the next 2-3 months, we're going to have the tax reform be passed into law. And that will be one of the best things that this government will have done for this nation.
Okay, I mean, I'll take it. And thank you very much, Senator, because I am the person asking the questions. What has the Senate really done that it can justifiably be proud of itself? There's so many things that have happened, such is the nature of any organ and in the life of an organ. Now, when I look at it, I just remembered, it doesn't necessarily follow anything or precede anything, but the speed with which the National Assembly passed the reinstatement of the old national anthem, that was something else. So I just wonder what your personal thought is on that. Mr. President had sent a bill. I think I prefer Nigeria, we hail thee, our own, their native land. Yeah, that's the one. Over and above this one. And you guys, for whatever reason, you said that's fine. Let's go.
Okay. Now let me ask you. The old anthem that we stopped, it was introduced by the military.
No.
It was.
When you say
I'm talking of
the anthem that has now been replaced by the original.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was introduced by this anthem that we have now was there before.
That's the original.
That was the original.
That's what Nigeria got independence with.
That was what we got independence with. It was the same military that changed it to
Arise, O
Compatriot. I'm sure you're aware of that. This president came in his own wisdom and gave reasons why he wants us to return to the original. I've told you, we are not in the National Assembly to start fighting over nothing. We are there, and that is the aim of this leadership. I'm talking of the leadership of the National Assembly led by Senator Godswill Akpabio and the House of Reps Speaker. They are not there to fight the executive. They are there to work with the executive, dialogue, and see how we can move this nation forward. It's not for us to start fighting over anthem. How can we accept the anthem? We must go, we will not agree with Mr. President. We are not there to fight and disagree with Mr. President. Tell me, why do we need to start fighting or disagreeing? We must stay put with the Arise, O Compatriot. In the first place, are we the one that put that in place? So what do we stand to gain on that? The president saw the reason that, look, let's go back to what it was from the beginning. That anthem brings Nigeria together the more. He wanted to create a new national orientation. That was why he introduced it. And we agreed to work with him.
You agreed with him?
Yes.
But you did, it's not as if you debated the matter exhaustively.
We debated it.
Because it was very quickly...
Let me tell you, what you guys don't know is that there are some issues. Instead of debating publicly, we go into an executive section to look at this. Instead of going to the plenary, the floor, and shouting and disagreeing with each other, some contentious issues, we go into executive section and we go to debate it there. We go to argue. We go to give reasons. And when we are done with in the executive sitting, as a closed section, we go back.
Okay.
Because all the issues, they've been resolved at the closed section. So
it's not necessarily every last thing that is done in public, debated in public.
Yeah.
There are some that...
we debate a lot, argue a lot at the closed section, executive section. And in that executive section, we are able to dialogue, see reasons with each other. And by the time we come back to plenary, you see us just resolving and as if nothing happened.
Okay. You started off by saying that, look, if you were to rate it, you would say we've done good.
Okay.
That's what you said. We've done good.
I'm going to. You want me to give the areas we have done well?
Yeah, and while you're at it, I can just add on what I was going to bring up now, which is that what do you think was the most difficult time in the Senate? So, but go ahead to hear those things that made you say, we've done good, all other things considered.
Okay. You see, I will just give you some major achievement, some blueprint. One, in the area of national minimum wage.
Okay.
You know, there was a time the labor went to strike because of national minimum wage.
One moment, Senator, I beg your pardon. I do believe that we have a caller, if I'm right. Good morning.
Good.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Morning, Uncle Yuri.
Good morning to you, sir.
Compliments of the season.
Indeed.
We celebrate.
Thank you very much.
My name is Steve from Abuja.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome, Steve. Go ahead, please.
All right. First and foremost, to make the record straight, I would like to put an assertion to the honorable there, saying
distinguished senator, actually.
Okay, sorry, distinguished senator, that most Nigerians don't know what legislation and what they do at the parliament. I stand to differ, but I'm going to bring my contribution. Before then, let him understand that even the layman understands what law in Nigeria is in our current situation. Now, whatever oversight function they are always carrying out, if it's been brought to the fora, to the public, haven't called some agencies why some of these failures are coming in our monetary policy, in some rules and regulations that are making Nigerians not benefit from the democratic precedent we are enjoying in the country today. If you bring these policies out, we are going to understand it basically. Now, secondly, I would like to also let him know that when you are talking about constituency projects in your own legislature, wherever he is coming from, when we are talking about holistical approach in the legislature, we mean, one, what is the senators or the House of Reps? What is that one thing that they have brought to the House, to the floor of the House, that is going to benefit the common man in the street? The 10th Assembly, if you look, I'm not going to say this is what they've done and this is what they've not done. But if you look at the parameters, they have not been able to even bring anything in the floor of the House that will cushion the effect of the common man. And that's where these people are not understanding the masses and the groanings and the yearnings of Nigerians. It's
all right.
Simple. ABC, present the look. Whatever the senators are debating, whatever the National House of Rep members are debating, when they see that whatever they are debating in the floor, look, Nigerians are watching. This thing is going to benefit us. This one is not going to benefit us. Weigh it 50-50. This one that they have done is fine. This one that is going on in international community is fine. But this one is okay for the common man. But they don't do that. Today is one problem or the other. Tomorrow is this one fighting that person. Next week is take this seat, take that seat. For crying out loud.
Okay, Steve. Steve, I think, thank you very much. We've got the gist of your matter. Maybe to let the senator weigh in on the matter.
Okay. Thank you,
Steve.
Steve, he is passionate about what we can do to make the lives of our people better. And that is why we're elected. You know, before his call came in, I was talking about the national minimum wage. You know, the national minimum, when this government came to be.
Well, again, I apologize. I understand we have to take a quick break.
Okay.
So let me just do that. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.
Me Meet Benga Oreshegun, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to journalists' Hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays, 1:30 p.m.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Welcome back. We had to do a sort of a quick break there, but our guest is Senator Sunday Academy of Kogi West, and a call came in. He was responding to that before we had to go on something of an emergency break, which wasn't actually an emergency. And somebody had called in and was complaining that how the ordinary man, you know, was not getting all that he could be getting according to his, you know, point of view. So you were just talking about that.
You before
it was Steve.
Yeah, my brother, Mr. Steve. Thank you for your call. Just like I said, we are concerned about the honorary men, people. The honorary people we call them. They are our people. They are the people that elected us. Without their vote, we wouldn't have been there today.
That's right.
And we are doing all that we can do to make their lives better. Let me tell you where we started from. This government, when they took over, the economy was really bad. I don't want to blame it on any past government, but it was really bad. We got to a situation where to survive, they had to be printing naira. You know, when a government starts printing currency, that is, you cannot even do anything better to make a source of livelihood or a source of a means to fund the activities of government. That was where we took over from. The what they call ways and means. But this government came. They had to stop that. If you look at it before this government, the foreign capital investment was almost nil. Nobody is ready to come and do business with us. So this government came in, they had to create a new order. And that brought a lot of hardship to the citizenry. The president took a bold step by stopping fuel subsidy. Fuel subsidy was a dream pipe. It was a dream, it has been a dream pipe on our economy for long. Some people will just take this thing they call the fuel that they have subsidized, take it to neighboring countries. Nigeria, the fuel they are using in all our neighboring countries was being subsidized by Nigerian government. And that is the way we've been living. The president came, put a stop onto it. And that brought about high cost of living for the people. But he had to do that to save for our future. And we cooperated with him for doing that. You know, because of the high cost of living, the labor force came up that the wage their wage was too low. We had to work hard, work with the labor, work with the executive. We immediately came up and passed the national minimum wage bill.
Okay.
If we are not there for our people, as the people are saying.
So that was indeed a major one.
Yeah.
I'm going to come right back
We
to
passed
it.
the national minimum wage bill.
Okay.
The president also brought this NELFON, Nigeria Educational Loan, to fund education so that students can approach NELFON to take loan
And he had to come
for
to
their
the assembly.
education.
He had
And
to
it
come
comes
to
to the assembly,
for
we
approval.
pass it.
Okay.
We also pass many other things.
Indeed.
Like the Regional Development Commission.
You might be able to mention some of those things because, but let me just apologize to Emeka. Apologies, Emeka in Alimosho. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do enjoy your program every day. When it is on air.
Okay.
Yes, I want to speak to the distinguished senator.
Sunday Karimi.
Let me speak on my behalf. I personally am not happy with what is happening in this country. When we are having senators and representatives representing us in Abuja, the people are suffering. My concern, you talked about national anthem. Let us put that aside. It has nothing to do with my stomach. The villagers are not going to farm. I'm from Delta State. If you know what is happening there, you see a ban of yam. These boys, so-called herdsmen of Boko Haram, they will go there, machete all the yams into two. They will divide the yam into two and ban. All those yams in the ban, they will divide them into two, wasting them. Then they will go to cassava farm, uproot all the cassavas or cut the stems. And you know, once you remove the stem, the cassava is wasted. They will catch the farmers there, they will kill them, or they maim them, they will run away. What are they doing in the National Assembly? We can't go to the farm. Price of foodstuffs are going up every day, and we don't farm. Those days, if you are traveling by road from Lagos to Benin, you will buy everything you want to buy on the road, but today you just stop to buy everything on the road. Because nobody goes to the farm, they cannot come out to say, what are they doing concerning security? That is my own, and their own, what do they call it? The project, constituency project. What are they doing? I watched one woman from Kogi State, the suspended woman. I saw what she put on ground.
All right then. Well, thank you very much, Emeka. Again, once again, so sorry that I couldn't pick you earlier, but thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Emeka. He talked about security. The first place, the basic responsibility of government is the security of lives and properties of the citizen. This security challenge that we have in our nation didn't start with this government. I'm not excusing this government for it. It started as far back as 2003. Boko Haram started from Borno State, Yobe State, but it's now all over the nation. And we have a situation where our people, they are not able to go to farm. It has also affected this food security in our nation. They are not only doing it, they are doing it all over the nation, not only in Delta State. As a government, as representative of our people, we have discussed this issue severally. Lately, we set up a committee, a committee of the National Assembly, to do a public hearing nationwide. It might be a zonal public hearing that we have to hold in the 6th geopolitical zone of the Federation. It may even, we are even thinking further to go down. How do we solve this problem permanently? These people that we are calling Boko Haram, these people that are herdsmen, they are Nigerians. Although some of them have been infiltrated by other nationals, causing havoc to our people. But some people here also are collaborating with them. We cannot allow that to continue. Let's face the reality. We cannot, we don't want a situation where we are going to have ethnic warlords all over the country. But this government is also doing a lot. Because at the time, it reduced. If you look at the ones in Kaduna State, Buhari, the ones in Niger State, the ones in Zamfara State, where it was really bad, they've been dislodged. And those places are now relatively safe. But they have now moved into some other part of the country, some part of the middle belt. It's a lot of challenge for our nation. A lot of funds that will have been used for developmental projects across the nation is being spent on this issue of security challenges, kidnapping and all that. You know, there was a time the Southwest came up with their own local Amatekun. Some other states also did their own. But I agree with, we are not there yet. But nobody is happy about it.
All right.
The problem didn't start today. Okay. But it is still the responsibility of government to solve it. And he talked about, excuse me, let me answer him.
Yeah, but before...
He talked about Sonar Intervention Project and talk about one senator in Southwest and in Kogi Central. She's doing her own. But she has not done anything compared to what people like us did in our senatorial district. It's not every propaganda that you see on the telly. It's not every propaganda. Most of those things I can tell you, they are propaganda. Okay. We are from the same state. She cannot even be compared to what I've done for my people.
Now you're talking about Senator Natasha.
I don't even want to go to Senator Natasha issue, please.
No, but this is the person. This is who you're talking about.
I'm not here for Senator Natasha.
But you referred to her just now.
I'm here to talk about what we can do for our nation.
But you referred to her just now.
We are elected.
But you referred to her just now.
You can go ahead if you want to ask anything about her.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that I just put a name. You were just...
Somebody asked question about. That's why I'm going. Okay, if you want to ask anything, ask. But I'm not here for that.
I hear.
I don't want any diversion.
I'm just supplying the name. Since you are the person who went and touched her, yes. I'm just bringing the name that, that's Senator Natasha you're talking about.
Yes.
That's
yes.
all. Okay. Okay. Now, Mazi Okoroafo, apologies, sir. Good morning to you.
Yeah. Good morning, sir. Good morning, I guess. You see, when we talk about the State Assembly, the National Assembly, what we are looking at that this is the most, that is when you talk about controversy, problem about talk, it's so many. But the question now is this. If you look at the aspect of the budget and the program and the State Assembly, I was expecting at least to part of like our guest was just saying, keep the security report and carry one quarter and add it to agri and education to make the thing vibrant. Because if you change you see that what the budget, the general adjustment that most of these things goes to security every year, which is not headed. Like even if our guest is talking, the security aspect of it now is something that when they talk, when tomorrow they will tell that they have covered a amount of billions. What happens when they say they have covered? We don't know how the money goes. Without the money will be back to the CBN or to the federal government, we don't know. So I'm just suggesting them, in as much as every day they discover a amount of money been hanging somewhere, let them bring it and inject it to our educational sectors, our agri sectors, to make the things that when you meet a step, some of these vices we are talking about will reduce. Now, look at what is happening presently now. Nigeria, we're talking about taxes. I think we have seen what is happening now in America. That is why I said, as far as I'm concerned, Trump is the world president that comes in when he comes and policies continue moving. I think we have seen what is Nigerian tax, how much? Africa, Nigeria, 14%. You look at China, he says 36. Look at European Union, he says 24%. Now this is the tax.
But you're talking about President Trump. We are in Nigeria here.
What is that? It's trying to make sure that African countries like ours now, let us look inward to move our economy. Let us look inward instead of depending on to be consuming content. Good morning, Mazo Krapo from our happy weekend.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Did you want to say anything about
And
that?
in terms of looking inward to develop our country, this government is doing a lot. And we are supporting the government on that.
And especially the president.
The president. I'm talking of
because
he's
been on so many road shows.
Yeah. I'm talking of President Tinubu.
Yes.
He's doing a lot. Look, in the area of mineral resources development and in this nation, this government is doing a lot. That is an area that we have neglected a lot. A lot of foreigners are mining our resources all over the country. Gold, lithium. We are working hard to put laws in place so that we can take the maximum benefit of our mineral resources in Nigeria. We are working closely with the executive.
Okay.
We will soon come out with a blueprint.
All right. You see, you're a senator of the Federal Republic. You can't believe in my ear here. So many people are wanting to call and talk with you, understandably. Reverend Dominic, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Chief Yore. Good morning to distinguished.
Good morning, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. He answered.
I want to talk to the elder statesman there. I want to take you where you want to run away from. How do you think about the image of 10th Assembly?
Is it still on the line?
Well, he will be hearing. I think the call
How
dropped.
do you think about what?
I think he was going to go to Senator Natasha. That was where. How do you? He said, "I want to take you to the area that you don't want to talk about," and the only one that you've expressed a disinterest in talking about, at least in my estimation, is when.
Maybe we'll come back because.
Okay.
Because, you see, this discussion is not about Senator Natasha
at all. But you brought her up.
This discussion is about our responsibility as National Assembly member.
Yes.
Are we living up to our responsibilities?
Yes.
What have we done to better the life of our people? All those side attractions. They touch me here. They touch me there. I don't want to talk.
Something.
Let's just leave that.
And well, since you brought it up, and everything is fair, and I'm sure there's nothing that will faze you. But I think the point is, you don't want to talk about your fellow senator from your state. You are saying that that's not what I want to talk about.
Everything that we need to talk about that issue. It's been on the national media for how long?
It's been going on for quite a while.
We cannot continue.
And only recently, there was an attempt to recall her.
Excuse me.
And it has now been said that
it
has been thrown out.
That has been
thrown out.
It's a side attraction. Even the recall is not our business in the Senate. The recall is being masterminded by our people. Let her go and face our people. By Kogi Central people. They are the one that brought her there. If she has issue with them, let her go and solve it. Whether they throw it out or they don't throw it out, that's not our business.
Okay. But the one thing that I can see personally here is that this is an issue that annoys you.
Yes.
Why, sir?
Because it has caused too much of distraction for that institution. And we have to be focused for the job that we are elected for. We are not elected for all that she has brought to the national discourse in the last 3 months. And we cannot continue like that. Let's face the job that we are elected for.
Okay. I'm trying to be careful here because the last thing I want to do is annoy you. You've come on my show. Thank you very much for that. But at the same time, you as a distinguished senator, and the person we're talking about too, well, you are not talking about her, but I am, is also a distinguished senator.
Yeah.
So we look at calibers like you and her and every other senator, and we say these are people that can hold it all together. And even if it's uncomfortable, they can talk about issues. So this is why I was a bit taken aback when I got the impression that you didn't even want to talk about it at all. That everything that somebody was saying she had done, you said all of this is propaganda. It was a bit strange because people don't, how do they express it? You don't rain on somebody else's cloud, or I forget the expression, but you get what I'm trying to say. And so, is there? I would have thought that there should be solidarity between you because you are both from Kogi State, but apparently it's not like that.
Excuse me, sir. Everything that we got to discuss about Senator Natasha's issue, it's been discussed.
Has been discussed or is being discussed?
It has been discussed.
Okay.
She wants that issue to be the issue that will continue to be trending all over the nation.
Okay.
And that is not the best for our institution.
Okay. Okay.
I want to say it is not the best for the National Assembly as an institution. And we got to move beyond that. We are not there for side attraction, photo op, show up.
Sir,
we are not there.
I have a problem
but
where
we
you're
are
going.
There for
because these are disparaging words.
Yeah.
These are disparaging words, sir.
Yeah.
Even if I say so. I don't know Senator Natasha Apoti Uduaghan, but when you refer to any matter connected with a distinguished senator of the Federal Republic and call it a sideshow, you know, that you begin to see how an ordinary person like me, who isn't a distinguished, will be taken aback.
Can we be focused? We've been discussing a lot of national issues.
We were, yes.
Talking about the security of the nation.
Until you brought up Senator Natasha yourself.
Somebody else brought it up.
Okay.
Talking about the security of the nation.
All right.
Talking about developmental efforts. Talking about what we can do for the grassroots.
Okay.
Let's concentrate on that.
Okay. And
leave my sister Natasha issue, leave it out of this discussion, please.
Okay. All right then. I guess that's understood.
Yeah.
We've done as much as we could, and you've explained to us, can we just not touch on some areas and concentrate on national issues?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Udo, did I get that right?
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Udo.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Yes, please go ahead,
That man is avoiding Natasha, whatever. One thing I realize.
Well, we didn't get to hear his question. You see, even yourself had to smile. You see, because this is what is going on here. So we'll leave it. We'll just.
There are so many.
There's so many. In fact, so much so that you were going to talk about some of the important jobs that have been done by the National Assembly, by the Senate, which includes this very Senator Natasha and your very good self. But then somehow, I think we've sort of settled down again. But there was a time when I think I was in danger of having you get angry on the program, and we can't afford that.
No, no. I'm sorry for that.
Okay, so let's continue, if we will, on some of those things that you were saying that require to be highlighted when it comes to the National Assembly.
Okay.
And
I've talked about the NEF fund.
That's right.
Student loan.
Yes.
The national minimum wage bill. I'm also on. There's an important aspect.
Okay, but very briefly, we have only about a minute more.
The Development Commission, that is the baby of this 10th Assembly. Development Commission has been created, the law has been put in place for all the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. This Development Commission will bring about development in a geopolitical zone. Like Southwest, you now have a development commission that will be doing a lot of developmental and projects, infrastructural projects across Southwest. The same thing for other 5 geopolitical zones. That commission was created by this 10th Assembly, 10th National Assembly. It was a law that was brought, it's not an executive creation. It was created by us, and the president accepted it. All the development commission now, they are in place.
Okay.
This year budget alone, I think 170 billion naira was earmarked for each of these development commissions. I'm afraid you're going to see a lot of developmental projects going on all over our geopolitical zone. A lot of other things.
Okay. We've run out of time. Senator Sunday Karimi, it's been an interesting and something of an thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay then. Yeah. So that's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folani. I beg your pardon, not tomorrow, on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call permanent solutions.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crumbs of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. Amadedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos. Meet Benga Oreshegun, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to journalists' hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays 1:30 p.m.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
Olishashla Mandela was born into the Mandela clan on 18th July 1918. He got involved in politics in 1942 as he helped to form ANC Youth League. He was married to Evelyn Mays and they had 4 children. Mandela was arrested in a countrywide police swoop on 5th December 1956, which led to the 1956 treason trial. Before the end of the treason trial, he wrote to Prime Minister for vote to include a national convention on a non-racial constitution, and failure to adhere would result to a national strike. In August, he was arrested and charged for leaving the country without a permit and inciting workers to strike. He was convicted and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. On 9th of October 1963, he was on trial with 10 others for sabotage in what became known as the Revodo trial. On the 11th of June 1964, Mandela and 7 other accused were convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. He was later released from its gates on Sunday, 11th of February 1990, 9 days after the unbanning of the ANC and the PAC. Nelson Mandela never wavered in his devotion to democracy, equality, and learning as he immersed himself in official talks to end white minority rule. In 1991, he was elected ANC president to replace his ailing friend, Oliver Tambo. In 1993, he and President F.W. de Klerk jointly won the Nobel Peace Prize, and on 27 April 1994, he voted for the first time in his life. On 10th May, he was inaugurated as South Africa's first democratically elected president. He, however, stepped down in 1999 after one term as president. Despite terrible provocation, he never answered racism with racism. His life is an inspiration to all who were oppressed and deprived, and to all who were opposed to oppression and deprivation. He died at his home in Johannesburg on 5th December 2013.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices were
Hello, thanks for joining us. This is TVC News at 12. Let's begin here in Lagos, where the Ministry of Works has successfully filled up the excavated area construction workers dugout for the rehabilitation of the Independence Bridge. Cleaners from the Lagos State Waste Management Agency and construction workers are clearing up the residue and waste ahead of the reopening in a couple of hours at 3 p.m. Initially closed on April the 1st for a 2-month repair, the bridge will be reopened earlier than expected due to public outcry over traffic congestion on Island on Wednesday. The Federal Ministry of Works, led by the Minister David Umahi, directed the immediate reopening of the bridge after efforts to carry out palliative works made it accessible. Further inspections are planned to assess the durability of the repairs.
We had intended to reopen the bridge on Sunday. But let me announce that those that are going to work tomorrow should feel free by 3 p.m. to pass through here. This bridge will be reopened latest by 3 p.m. tomorrow to the glory of God. And so we are committed to working throughout the night to restore the bridge. I can say that it's 50% temporal what we are going to do, but it may turn out to be permanent work. We are going to check the behavior of the field we are doing. And of course, we are going to also put asphalt. So we're going to finish this section of the bridge that got sunk.
Let's bring in our senior correspondent, Sarah Yeku, who is standing by at that portion of the bridge where work is being done, to give us more update. Sarah, what more can you tell us? Is 3 p.m. still possible today?
Well, I guess it is. Just take a look at what is going on now. This area was the excavated area where a lot of persons were really scared that would the Ministry of Works be able to meet up with the 3 p.m. mark they had given themselves. And this is what we see right now. They've laid the colac, they've laid the first layer of the asphalt. This is the second layer of asphalt that they just laid, and they're just trying to tidy it up just so they do some kind of finishing work and then ensure that it's on the same level with the other section of the Independence Bridge. And, you know, it's been really, really tough on them, and of course tough on motorists who had to wait through 6, 7, 10 hours just along this route to get to the island. So that outcry, of course, you know, the Ministry of Works made a U-turn and decided to do this palliative work on the Independence Bridge. And so what we've heard from the minister, in the last couple of, in about 48 hours now, is that there should be a reopening of the bridge since it has caused a lot of some sort of chaos and traffic gridlock just on the island. Just in a few hours that happened. And so we're seeing that by 3 p.m. we're hoping that this would open up. The Minister of Works is expected to be here any moment from now. He had said that he was here last night to inspect the project. And when we got here last night, it's really surprising that when we were here last night, the depths that we saw last night, we thought that there would be some kind of difficult work to do, but when he comes, that's the Minister of Works, he'll be able to explain to us, to tell us, give us more details as to what kind of magic or what they did to ensure that this road is motorable for the commuting public. So what you see right now is, should I say 90% of finished work on the section that was excavated. And we're hoping to see them do some kind of finishing work, ensure that it lays, it's of course incoherent with the other sections of the bridge. So I think we should be, happy. People should be happy about that. But then the question of, is this going to be a permanent solution? That's another question the minister has to answer.
And Sarah, just the last point you made, if this is a permanent solution, because the question here is the reason for repairs rather was really about the integrity of the bridge. And so the work that has been done now, where does that leave the bridge and just safety and integrity of the bridge?
That's a question on our lips. Because people are wondering, if you say that the bridge was really needed rehabilitation, and that's why you started working on the bridge, you closed it down for that number of hours, and you had planned it, will this palliative work be able to show up the structural defect that the bridge had? We're going to be asking the minister that question. Another part of the question will also be that the minister, of course, said that in a couple of weeks they'll come back to do some kind of integrity test on this particular area, just to be sure that the bridge is safe for motorists. So we're waiting to see that happen. And he came up with an idea. He said that he came up with an idea as to an alternative as to what they could do to ensure that this is a permanent solution, because I do not think the Ministry of Works wants to go through what they went through in the last 48 hours, or should I say 48 hours to 36 hours, the public outcry, the questioning as to if they knew what they were doing before they closed down the bridge, the controversies and all. And so they are also bringing that to the table, ensuring that they properly sensitize the public, engage all stakeholders. And when I mean stakeholders, engage the Traffic Management Agency, the Ministry of Transportation in Lagos, the Lagos State government, as to how they should, going forward from now, how they should engage when they want to close down particular sections, that's highways and bridges across Lagos. So they've done this before. They've done this with the Third Mainland Bridge, and it wasn't this chaotic, although it came with a lot of stress, but it wasn't that chaotic. But this one, was just not it for them. I think they've gone back to their drawing board to see how this can really work and how they can ensure that the bridges, the highways are safe for the motoring.
Absolutely, Sarah, because that's also very important. As much as we want to say, oh, look, provide alternative routes, that bridge also has to be safe for residents to use. Thank you so much for that update. I'm sure Lagosians are waiting for 3 p.m. where that bridge will be open. As senior correspondent Sarah Yeko live for us at the Independence Bridge. Let's now turn to other stories. The Southeast Development Commission has shown its readiness and commitment to ensuring strategic roadmap that will bring out economic revolution, including rail transportation. The managing director of the commission reviews this in Lagos after a tour of facilities of the Nigeria Railway Corporation, led by Kayode Okbefa. Senior reporter Ayomide Ajegbe has more.
Just 50 days after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu created the Southeast Development Commission, the leadership of the agency are in Lagos to tour facilities of the Nigeria Railway Corporation in a bid to forge meaningful partnerships to revitalize the economy of the region.
Why is rail critical? Rail is not only critical from an economic transformation standpoint, but also we've done opinion polls on the region, and the people of the region, 48% of them are saying, if there's one project you can give us rail. And in addition to that, Mr. President was in the Southeast on the second week of this year, And this project was one of those that was identified as a priority project, and he said he will do it. So we came on a visit to find out what are other ways of collaboration.
While speaking on security concerns in the Southeast, the MD says that if the proposed economic plan for the next 10 years will see light of the day in the region, the issues of violence and vandalism must be critically addressed.
We heard of the concerns that the Aba-Port Harcourt line is having in terms of insecurity, vandalism. So this is a word that we have to take back to our people in the region. If they want rail, they can, on the other hand, be vandalizing the infrastructure.
The leadership of the Nigeria Railway Corporation, led by Kaode Okpeifa, while taking the team around the facilities of the NRC, says ease of doing business is a core of the federal government agenda, and hence the Southeast is a major player in this.
More importantly, is the purpose of the current government for establishing these commissions is to open up development, improve trade facilitation, and then make sure every part of Nigeria is carried along. So it's also part of our own plan for inclusive rail transportation. The Southeast corridor represents a critical corridor in the history of railway in Nigeria. That's the Port Harcourt, Maiduguri Eastern Line. And in recent time, you can see the work going on the Port Harcourt Aba, which I understand will soon be extended to One, Port, and to Enugu, and going forward to Maiduguri.
The tour ended with a brief meeting between the critical stakeholders from the Nigeria Railway Corporation and the Southeast Development Commission, with a resolve to ensure viable railway transportation in the Southeast region by the end of 2026. Ayomide Ajegbe, TVC News, Lagos.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced that a petition seeking the recall of the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District has been rejected. The commission held its regular weekly meeting yesterday, and it considered and approved the report of its physical count of the signatures and thumbprints forwarded with a petition for the recall of Senator Akpoti Uduaghan. Annex says it ensured the petitioners complied with the requirements for the submission of the petition. It also notified Senator Akpoti Uduaghan in writing and copied the presiding officer of the Senate. ANEC explains that the petition did not meet the requirement of Section 69, subsection A of the Constitution, and no further action shall be taken on the recall of the senator. A lawyer to Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan, Victor Giwa, commended INEC for rejecting the petition seeking to recall her, describing the process as questionable, baseless, and politically motivated. Victor Giwa said this on TVC News at 7 yesterday, while also insisting that his senator continues to enjoy widespread support in her constituency.
It came from, and we have pictures of people staying in a particular place, putting up signature. That was why the first thing the other thing we did was to write a petition to the IG that those bags of acclaimed signature they brought and INEC just counted, that they were forged. So it is not a case of, from the beginning, our position is that from the beginning, ab initio, this petition was dead on arrival. So there is actually, INEC just tried to justify what we have been saying, and we appreciate the effort, but it is something that we knew was not going to sail through.
The PDP Youth Alliance Forum has vowed to recall any lawmaker perceived to have betrayed the trust of the people who voted them into office. At a news briefing in the nation's capital, they expressed dissatisfaction over the move to recall suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. They say they are set on a mission to challenge the status quo and hold elected officials accountable, especially those whose actions contradict their campaign promises. Ikemba Ikoku, who spoke on behalf of the group, says the National Assembly must be made to truly serve the people who elected them.
Senator Natasha Akpoti, which is a case of ethical violation and distractions. Nigerians cannot be deceived by attempts to divert attention when a public official engages in serial misconduct, hoping to use emotional manipulation or unrelated allegation as the small screen. Senator Natasha's suspension from the National Assembly is a direct consequence of her repeated violations of legislative misconduct, not the distractions she's attempting to introduce. Her actions, including unruly behavior, disregard for Senate decorum, and defiance for established parliamentary rules, have brought disrepute to the institution. Among her infractions, Senator Natasha violated Senate Rule 53.
Meanwhile, advocate against domestic violence and widow of Innocent Chukwuma, Josephine Efa Chukwuma, has described the controversy between Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and the President of the Senate as unfortunate and an international embarrassment. She spoke at the 3rd Annual Impact and Legacy Lecture Series in honor of her husband, Innocent Chukwuma, titled The Personal is Political, Lessons from the Life of Innocent Chukwuma. Speakers at the lecture, which include a wife of the former governor of Ekiti State, Bisi Adeleye Fayemi, and chairboard of Clean Foundation, Professor Muazu, described late Innocent Chukwuma as a man of honor. According to them, his death is not only a loss to the civil society world, but the nation at large.
Let us keep reflecting on the legacy of Innocent Chukwuma and see what actions we need to take and deal with the situation in our society and ensure that there is justice for everybody. But justice is easier said than done because we need to find ways of accessing this justice and make it work. That, I think, is what Innocent Chukwuma will push for. But he will do it so from a position of competence, capacity, and character, and with a lot of love, so that the politics of the personal becomes political and involves everybody.
Character deficit amongst our government officials, very glaring. Be it the issue of sexual harassment allegation, be it the issue of managing affairs in the Senate, which is the upper house and all of that. Nigerians deserve much better than that. Nigerians deserve a legislative harm that will not bring shame and disgrace to us as a people. We deserve better. We shouldn't be in the news globally or even nationally for such things, when there are much, much more bigger things affecting us.
You're watching TVC News at 12. We'll take a break now and return with more stories. Stay with us.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Thanks for staying with us. Now to the nation's capital, where a coalition of civil society organizations has condemned the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over its handling of the case involving Mrs. Aisha Sulaiman Achimugu. The businesswoman was recently declared wanted by the EFCC. That's a move the Coalition for Accountability and Good Governance describes as unlawful and politically motivated. TVC News senior reporter Tijesu Adeoye reports.
And philanthropist Aisha Sulaiman Achimugu is now at the center of controversy, particularly after being declared wanted by the EFCC. The anti-graft agency accuses her of financial misconduct, but civil society groups claim due process was ignored. The Coalition for Accountability and Good Governance says Achimugu has responded to an EFCC invitation on March 5th, explaining that she was out of the country for medical reasons. Despite her request for a rescheduled meeting, she was publicly declared wanted on March the 15th, a move the coalition describes as unjust and politically motivated.
We find it appealing
that EFCC has refused to employ known civil procedure in the conduct of its investigation. The sequence of events leading